not knowing
Let's talk
that the
about,
show starts at 3.
Let's talk about the Mets. What are you feeling, Don, starting the weekend? What are you feeling? I want to know. I want to get into your soul. What are you feeling?
I feel like I haven't seen them in forever. It's so
They still play?
It's so crazy because like you're living and dying with every pitch, Peter, and all of a sudden 2 days out of nowhere there's no baseball. And I got 3 yesterday because I had the Giants to watch, but it was like really strange on, Wednesday to not have a game, and now you ramp it up. I feel good, Michael, about it. I mean, the Brewers don't need the games. Now, that doesn't mean anything. They're going to try to be competitive and do the best that they can. But you've got, who's probably your best pitcher right now going to get that, try to get that first one. And I really believe they'll at least take 2 out of 3. Their magic number's 4, so they can reduce it down to 2. And if the Royals can help out and take care of the Braves, then there's...
And the Royals have a lot to play for, Don.
Well, a lot strong.
Well, I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, because...
they can choose what team they want to play, though. Think about that.
I don't know if that's going to be a consideration for them. Now, right now, they are tied with the Detroit Tigers for Wildcard 2. In order for them to clinch, I'm just looking at it, they've got a 3-game lead on the Twins, so I'm assuming that means the magic number is probably 1. I don't know what the tiebreaker situation is with them, but...
by the way, can I stop you for one second? Did you see the last play of the Twins game yesterday in extra innings?
I did not, no.
It's unbelievable. And I'm a Carlos Correa fan. He hits a tapper, right? This is the final out in the 10th inning. They're trailing by 2. He hits a tapper to the pitcher. But it's not like right directly at the pitcher. Pitcher has to come off the mound. He's jogging to first. This is the last play of your season, essentially.
Pretty much.
And the throw is bad.
No.
Then he speeds up, and the first baseman came off the bag, made the catch, and came back to first, tagged the bag before Correa touched the bag. And everything that I'm reading, Rocco Baldelli's really a quote-unquote player's manager, doesn't crack the whip. They did not play hard down the stretch. I mean, that's the last play. That's the last play of your season, essentially, and you're not running hard to first base.
No,
bad look.
No, that's all.
Bad look for Rocco Baldelli.
And meanwhile, Kansas City, who's had 2 separate 7-game losing streaks recently, are in a position to make the playoffs. And it's so amazing how streaky they are. They followed up the last 7-game losing streak by winning 3 in a row. So maybe the Mets catch a break there. Royals, at least tonight's game against the Braves will be meaningful. They can finish it off and clinch a playoff spot. So if the Mets can win and the Braves lose, then the magic number's down to 2. And then you control your own destiny from there, right, Michael? You go out, win the next 2 games against Milwaukee, then you're in. Doesn't mean you still don't have to go back to Atlanta, because we'll see what happens with the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Mets didn't catch any breaks there either, because the Padres lost those last 2 games to the Dodgers.
Yes.
So the Padres, I don't believe, will have anything to play for. The Dodgers have already clinched the division. I'm just trying to see. I guess they still could be caught, Michael, for Wild Card 1. Mets are only 2 games back of the Padres because of the games in hand that the Mets have. So I guess there is the possibility, because you do want Wild Card 1, get those games at Citi Field. So the Padres will still, I think, have a reason to play to sew that up. But I don't think the entire series against Arizona is going to be meaningful for them. So they might still have to go back to Atlanta. But if they can get 2 off, if they can win tonight, Braves lose tonight, then the Mets would control their own destiny to at least get into the playoffs.
Now, what you have to root for is you have to root for the Diamondbacks to crap the bed and lose all 3. Then you don't have to do anything. It doesn't matter what you do against Milwaukee, and that means they probably don't even play the doubleheader.
Right.
That's the best thing for the Mets and the Braves, not to play that doubleheader.
And I guess the good news, and they've got again, I don't know what the tiebreaker is between the Padres and the Diamondbacks, because the Padres have a 3-game lead. So what happens if the Diamondbacks were to sweep that series? Could they take Wild Card 1? If somebody could check that out for me, I'd appreciate it. But the Padres will still have reason to play because of the fact the Mets might have to play 2 on Monday. So they're not going to know if they've sewn up Wild Card 1 probably till later on in that series. So at least I think the first couple of games, the Padres will still have reason to play. So that might actually benefit not just the Mets making the playoffs, but not having to go all the way to Atlanta, because that would just stink, Michael, right? Fly to Atlanta and then maybe Milwaukee or San Diego right after the doubleheader.
It's awful. It's awful.
At least the one game's not bad because it'd be a 1 o'clock start. So maybe the game you get out of there by like 5 o'clock. It wouldn't be that terrible. But if
still
you had to play the
sucks
second
eggs.
game, it
still sucks eggs. Even if it's a 1 o'clock, you're not getting out of there till 5:30. There's 5-hour flight to San. It's brutal.
Now, and here's the thing, Michael. You're not going to know where to fly your game one starting pitcher to. Because, like, usually you'd be like, all right, well, listen, don't send him to Atlanta. Send him to where we're going to be.
No, he's got to be with the team.
You're not going to know where you're going to be. So maybe he stays in New York, but is he going to Milwaukee? You're going to San Diego? It's going to be all up in the air.
Joshua in New Jersey. Joshua.
Hi, Michael, Don, and Peter. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just a quick question. I wanted to see if you guys think the Mets are going to make the playoffs or not. Just laying it all on the line. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think they will. I mean, I'd said a month ago I didn't think they'd make it in, but the way things are lining up this weekend, I think it would be unbelievable if they don't make it.
I mean, I know it was a tough loss against the Braves, that first game of the series where they lost 5-1. But they were playing great going in. So let's not make one loss out to be, oh, my God, it's all going to fall apart. I know Met fans are probably thinking that, but they've played well. They've gotten off the map before. If you remember that Friday, game 2 of the series against Philadelphia, they got crushed 12-2, come back and win 2 games on Saturday and Sunday. I like their chances in Milwaukee. I know the Brewers and that place particular has been a house of horrors for them, but they catch the break that the games are meaningless for the Brewers. So
if they lose tonight, Don, will it be like, will you just feel panic from Mets Nation?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if the Braves win, and now you're tied. No, there would be.
So tonight, can you go, Michael? Could you go as far as calling tonight? Must win.
Not for the team, but for the fans' sanity, maybe. Because we saw how they reacted to the one loss in Atlanta. So now if you followed up with a loss tonight, then they're going to really think the ghouls and the goblins are out to get them.
We hate ghouls. We hate goblins.